Okay. Thank you. Oh, okay. We are being recorded live right now, but we're not a live broadcast. Good evening, Manhattan. No, excuse me. Good afternoon, Manhattan, New York City, the world, the universe, and beyond. This is a pre-recording for the Kirk TV show here every Monday night, 11:30 p.m. Eastern. My name's Kirk, and I'm a natural-born trance medium, and this is our continuing series of hitting the scouring the globe for the spiritual powerhouses, the light workers, the healers, the shaman, the reverends all over the planet. My name's Kirk, and this is your power animal reminding you that you're powerful, you're important, and of course, Shakti, Namaste, you're immortal, Shakti. So, what's going on, guys? We're doing a pre-recorded afternoon show that is live, and we've got Reverend Tiffany White, Sage Woman, waiting in the wings on the Facebook Hangout. And let me just take a deep breath. We'll just invite the angels, the Taoist immortals, the Buddhas, the interdimensional healers, the shaman through all of time to be here with us and to find the divine and spiritual intelligence, Shakti, Shakti, Namaste. And how did I find Reverend Tiffany? Well, Reverend Tiffany, first of all, she's going to explain to us how she has the name, takes the power name, given and bestowed of Reverend Tiffany, White Sage Woman. So we're going to find that out. I've seen her photos and her writings on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and Facebook, and I just took the jump and said, hey, look, there's something about you. You got the mojo. I could see the energy in your eyes. So let's just take a deep yoga breath and do a quick yoga stretch. And my name's Kirk, and it's my honor to have with us this afternoon. Let me see, hit the cutter bar. Kirk, here we go. It's perfect. Reverend Tiffany White Sage Woman, welcome.
Hello.
Tiffany, how are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you, and it's an honor to be here with you. Thank you.
I'm really glad everything came together, and I'd like to thank you for showing up, and thank you for being a streamlined, powerful healer and being available and showing up so we can get your knowledge and your wisdom and your strength and love and light shared with the world here on Kirk Spiritual Television. So,
Well, I'm glad to be here.
how are you doing? How do you want to start? Tell us about how you self-identify. We'll just jump in with you. Go ahead. 2 to 3, 5 minutes off the top of your head. What do we need to know about you?
All right. Well, it's like most of us. We have these. We actually are born with abilities. We're wide awake when we were born, and we, as children, are truly tapped in, still connected with the divine, and we usually are until between 5 and 8, depending on, and then I'm gonna say the brainwashing, but the brainwashing that occurs, and some kind of pull away and detach. I was able to maintain. I was able to maintain my abilities, and I always knew I was a healer. And so what was interesting is that, so here I come in and I know that I'm this healer, and I can't articulate as a child what I mean. Because everyone kept saying, oh, you just want to be a nurse, and would pet me on the head and walk away. And when children try to explain things to adults, it comes across as fantasy. And so I was very much misunderstood. But how interesting that I was put into the family that I was, that needed so much healing. My mother and father was divorced when I was 4, and I watched my mom emotionally crash I watched her activate cancer within her. And then I watched that her whole process of experiencing cancer 3 times in her life. And that was like, this is why I'm here. I get it. I understand. There has to be a way that it can help other people not to let this happen. And how did it happen? It's not a twist of fate. It's not, oh, it's just, what happened. I watched her illness. I watched what started outside of her, outside her aura. And there was a blackness, a darkness, her really deep emotional times that she went through was following her around. Now, I knew it wasn't an entity. It was just, it's different. I knew it was her. It's like this dark cloud, and it just kept growing and growing. And then it finally emerged into her aura and then into her body. And that's when she got sick. That's when she was diagnosed. So, children has a hard time trying to understand and express everything, but I knew that something was very wrong, and that at that age that we have to be very careful and with our emotions, because there's definitely a mind, body, soul connection. Absolutely. Does that mean that I didn't experience my own challenges when I was older? No, I absolutely did. But going through what I did with my mom, being by her side, watching everything she went through 3 separate times, with three different types of cancer, and how it kept returning, really opened my eyes to, wow, we are powerful beings. And we really have to be careful what we manifest, with our thoughts, our feelings, because we really can make ourselves sick. We create our disease.
Okay.
And not to sound discouraging, just as we create our disease, we can create our healing too.
Okay, so that's a good place. Let's start there. First of all, how do we come upon Reverend and White Sage Woman?
Mm-hmm. Sure. White Sage Woman actually came first. That was a name. It's interesting because my name is Tiffany White. And then I was at a powwow, and I go to the drumming circles and powwows. I attend them quite frequently. And I do believe, oh my goodness, I can't remember now. I think it was like 5-6 years ago. I was at one drumming circle, and there's a lot of course, friends that you have, their native friends, and a very gifted psychic medium and healer himself was sitting next to me. And we were really, really close, like brother and sister, and we knew we had past lives as brother and sister. And so after we were done with the drumming circle, he comes to me and he says, I have this message. He was like, the elders are here. And I could see them. I could see the elders in spirit. I could see I could see them. And he was like, we have a name for you. And I didn't understand at that time the importance of being given a name, of a native name, so to speak. I didn't understand that importance. But I knew it was something that I should honor, because I felt like it was I felt like we were in ceremony, and it was just a great feeling. Like, I could feel the spirit all around me. I could even feel some of my relatives like witnessing this. And I was like, oh, wow, this is huge. Then if everyone's showing up like this, I know I have to pay attention. So he told me that, he goes, here's your name. And I was like, okay, great. Thank you. And I thought, I'm not sure what to do with this. And he responds back to me. He goes, okay, now you must use this. Don't you put it on the back burner. You must use your name. You must use it. walk with it. He goes, white sage woman. And I thought sage was like the herb. And I was laughing because I was telling him, I said, but, you know, sage chokes me up. I can't burn sage. And he goes, that's not the sage we're talking about. He goes, stop being silly, Tiffany. This is serious. And so I was like, right. And I did. I sat with that, and I was like, all right, I'm going to use it. I'm very honored. And people that I spoke with, and within our circles, they were like, that is a big honor. Not everyone just gets a name like that. And come to find out too, one of the people I couldn't identify at first that came forward, but I knew was a relative. My great grandfather was Native American, and he was there. So he was there at the naming ceremony. So it was really, really interesting. Everything started to fall together when I surrendered and just let go and go with it. And so I said, okay, I was right at that point too, where my family and spirit was, you need to get started. We've always helped your family and friends. Now let's create a website. So in honor of my native name, the website is whitesagewoman.com. And so that's how that name came about. The name of my business is Goldylocks Temple of Healing. And Goldylocks was a nickname. This is all at the same time. What do I name my business? Okay, so now this is the website. And it was like, you know, it could seem like it's overwhelming when everyone just rushes in to talk. But Goldylocks is a name that my grandmother and great-grandmother called me because my blonde hair, the golden locks. And I was the first girl in my dad's family in 80 years. So they were very happy. And they knew that there was something very special, they kept telling me, about me. So I was like, all right. So they helped me in starting the business, so to speak, and getting it all up and running. And actually, it was yesterday, or a couple of days ago, was my 5-year anniversary of being ordained spiritual and metaphysical minister. And I did this like a year after I was in business, and it happens. It just happens. And I had met a minister and was involved with, that circle of friends. And he was just like, you are very spiritual. He goes, you can be ordained. And I'm traditionally, my father, my paternal father, because I had two, my bonus dad. But my dad, my birth dad, was an ordained Lutheran minister. So here I'm thinking religious and religion. And I really embraced Reverend because it helped me to heal any attachments that I had with religion, anything that I had in regards to religion, because I had some pretty bad experiences with churches. And so it helped me to heal it by embracing it, incorporating and using it. It's helping to heal. So that's how the whole thing came together. Reverend Tiffany White Sage Woman.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so let's see. When did you start really saying, you know what, I'm going to allow my psychic spiritual powers? Oh, I just did a video on YouTube talking about the word psychic, spiritual intuitive, spiritual medium. Like, how would you self-identify to a client? Like, what's your specific focus? I know that you also allow the clients to pay whatever they wish. And there's two schools of thought on that. It's like, in my opinion, if the person doesn't give forth something, the medicine won't really take. So, I'd like to toss that out there. And also that your clients are kind of like, it's a sacred honor, it's already ordained. it's already, you already have this like karma to work with these people. So first of all, how long have you been taking clients, and what's like your hot zone for spiritual gift? I mean, for me, tarot, I get people unstuck. Like my gift is I get people unstuck. I don't know how it works. I don't even know if it's anything I do, but when they get in front of me and they're stuck, I'm like a keeper, a doorway. I allow them, I kick them out of the hall into the next phase. So, what I think would be interesting is coming out of hiding, you're talking about religion, you're talking about kind of being damaged and abused, and then stepping into the light of your spiritual gifts, having, your new given energy vibration name, and then you start to take clients. You start to tell the universe, hey, start sending me people. So what kind of people, who comes to you? What do you do the best? So let's just go a little bit on all of that.
All right. Well, it's actually, like I said, I've always considered healing. And when I got into business 6 years ago, it was with healing. My mom has always been a great inspiration. She didn't mind the healing aspects but she did not like, when me growing up, she did not like my psychic abilities. The psychic medium. She didn't like me saying relatives, especially her mother, standing around us. She would always tell me to stop talking. Don't do that. Just don't speak that way. And I knew that it unnerved her for some reason. It scared her, spooked her, whatever. And I thought it was interesting because, it's in the bloodline, Mom. You can do this too. Why don't you? I had to learn though too, because as a child in my youth, just to say whatever I would get. And so I did have to learn, okay, you got to hold back a little bit. But I completely went the other way after continuously, especially, as I got into preteens and teenagers, to just keep your mouth shut. And then I grew up in a very religious household. My mom was very religious. And of course, my dad was a minister, but they were divorced. So my mom still kept involved with churches. And so even having conversations with ministers, and and I'm sure many of us have had this, I would ask questions that the ministers couldn't answer. And one particular got really mad at me and just responded very negatively, and even told my mom, oh, she's going to be a problem child. And it's like, wow, really? Just because you couldn't answer my question? And because I could get to the core of it immediately, and this is, whether you want to say it's psychic or it's the healers, when you can see it all, a seer and knower. And I would have to say that knowing has always been my sharpest abilities, to know things without knowing, how do you know that? Specifically, how do you know that? And so it's when you look into someone's energy and you dive into and you're feeling them, it's not like you are taking a peek with, against their wishes. We are all connected. And when someone's standing next to you, and if they're putting it out there, you're going to receive it. And so it's kind of like, whoa, back off a little bit, or do I really need to tune into this? But you can tell when someone's unbalanced, and when someone is what they need as far as to rebalance themselves and to heal. And that's very powerful with as the healer. So I really came into this and took Reiki, even though the guides are like, you really don't need to, you're natural born healer. But everyone right now, Reiki is hot, Reiki is popular, everyone understands what Reiki is. And to have that certification is good, is what brings people to you. So I thought, okay, I will listen, I will do that. And I got the Reiki certification. And then it came to, all right, now it's time to talk again. And let's open back up with your psychic medium abilities. This terrified me because I had been quiet for a while. I actually went to spiritualist churches and sat in mediumship circles and psychic development circles, and it took me a bit to get the courage to speak again. And I thought, now where is this coming from? It wasn't just from my past as a child; it was also from past lives. And many of us who keep coming back and are in this field, or who are powerful healers, we were put to death, tortured, for our beliefs and for speaking out. So I know I had to work through that too. I was like, okay, so let me work through this. And finally, just stepping into the own power it's all about the surrendering. But my strongest, I feel, is the healing. And here's the thing, even psychic mediumships should be healing. Any connection that you have with your client, so to speak, the outcome should be healing. It should be a very healing environment, let me say that, because everyone has to do their own part of healing. It's not just, a healer goes and waves the magic wand, poof, you're healed. The person receiving the healing has to do their part too. So it's a partnership. And all healers really should do is just hold sacred space. Open. I feel like I've seen the energy open up like a portal during healings. And so we're opening up this sacred space, this portal, and you have these beautiful energy, spirit doctors, I call them, spirit healers coming in. They don't have a human shape. They're like columns of light that surround the client, the Reiki table. And I stand at the feet and just hold the space. And the client has their eyes shut. And when they're done, they're like, I felt multiple hands all over me. I was like, I didn't even touch you. But what we do is we hold that space, because in the upper vibrations, in the upper dimensions, this is where we remember who we are divinely, and we remember how to heal. Our bodies remember how to heal. We know how to realign ourselves again. And so it's by, whether it's taking someone up to the upper vibrations or bringing the upper vibrations down, that's, let's say, create a portal opening. You're the same way, Kirk. You're a very powerful healer, but your tool is the tarot. Okay, so there's many different tools or techniques. It's different paths, but the destination should lead you to the same divine cosmic healing source.
Okay, terrific. That sounds good. Soul groups, interconnected, soul contracts. What are your thoughts on all those? Like, we're in the same soul group, right? Wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Okay, so we're very germane to each other. We kind of knew each other even before. The minute I saw you, I just recognized you. So, I don't know, how do we explain soul contracts, soul groups, soul clusters? What if one person in our soul cluster is just, they don't want to be healed, or they've been lost, or, how do we get everybody up and interconnected again and do what we're supposed to do? I would like to stress again that, and I really believe and know, and I say this all the time, spiritual gifts are accrued upon lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. They're not just something that just happens to somebody. I've had 5 near-death experiences, and really it was like a revealing and a remembering, like you said. It's a remembering. It's a remembering of the divine and spiritual intelligence. It's a remembering of harmony and vibration. So I don't know, all your thoughts on that. Like, how many souls would be in a soul group or a soul cluster? How many lifetimes? Since, I don't know, the other side is a non-linear, experience dimension.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we say, oh, you're an old soul, you know. That's how my thing started. Random people kept coming up to me saying, you're an old soul. I was like, I don't even know what that is. What do you, I was in my 20s. I didn't have a clue. You know what I mean? I
Okay.
didn't, and they just kept saying, "Oh, you're from Egypt. You were a priest in Egypt." You know, stuff like that to me, and I was like, I didn't even know what you're talking about. I didn't know what a
Yeah.
Buddha was, or you know. But I naturally started meditating when I was like 10 years old, and I didn't even know what that was either.
Right. Right. And that's what I'm talking. Is like we just naturally do things, and then as we get older, it's oh, is that what you call it? And that's what we where words can either be helpful or hurtful because there's just so many of them. I understand to identify, but old souls really do well with symbols. I relate better to
Uh-oh. I think we just had a glitch.
symbols.
There we go. Okay.
Okay, yeah. So what we've used to relate really was symbols before in telepathy. We used a lot of telepathy and then symbols. So our first part of our lives coming in is trying to understand whatever language we're being taught in words, all these different words and classification and separation. Um, anyway, the whole thing that you did ask though was about soul groups, and I had asked my ascended master guides and the angels. I had asked them about what's the soul groups, and they're like, well, we're all connected energetically, but it's like circles of 12, and they're all connected. It was like, so you have 12 people here, someone in that circle can be connected to another circle, which connects those two circles together, and so forth. I mean, it's just like clusters of interconnecting circles or spirals, and look at really the design of the universe or how energy moves, and it's always like in a circle, in a spiral. Look at our DNA strand, you know, it's that figure eight or infinity when you turn it sideways. So there isn't a definite answer for how many is in a soul group because it's infinite. There's just not a specific number. It just is, and that's what I was told. Now you're going to be connected with all sorts of people who, hey, my mother didn't heal herself at the time. She did cross over in 1990. I was 24 and pregnant with my first child when she crossed over. And I knew at that time that was her time, and that was really hard for me. And then I went through all sorts of range of emotions. Of course, I was pregnant, so I was going through all sorts of emotions. But it was even angry, like, why didn't you choose to heal yourself so you could stay here? And and then, oh my goodness, I couldn't help her. I couldn't. You go through everything, and that's so normal. All of us to go through those range of emotions. Just don't get stuck there. Don't set up residence and become depressed in those type of back and forth type of emotions. And when we work on that, I really had to address and you know what? It's okay. Because what my mom went through was a very powerful teaching tool, not just for me, but for everyone whose life she's touched. She was a Christian author. She wrote a lot of articles. She wrote a book. And she was a great motivation for so many people. And so when you take yourself out of the element, out of the whole picture, really, when we take ourselves out of it and we see the whole big picture, that it's more than just us, it makes sense. It really does. And even like blame games, as soon as we stop blaming anyone or anything else for why something happened, we can see the whole picture. because it's no longer a blame game. It's just all right, everything, every person, every situation is whole. So it has a bad part, a good part, a balanced part. This is all part of all of us. So if you're experiencing discomfort or what we call negativity, ask to see the rest of it. What about the good in this person? What about, and that doesn't mean that we have to stay in a situation that's harmful for us either. But pretty much people that we come across are very powerful teachers. And whether they reflect a part of you that needs to be worked on, or there's just something to be learned from, it's all very powerful.
Okay. If you were gonna, okay, like say we're gonna start a school for, healers. What's our first things first? How do we, I know I went through a lot of pain. I grew up in Orange County, and it's just like certain kind of Christianity. I grew up gay in the 70s, so I had to go through, I think you were talking earlier, body programming against, the adults around you are steeped in this limitation. And then here we come and we're like, no, we're love and light. Here we are. And they're like, no, no, no. And so we have to go through the whole process of releasing or having that pain. So now we're in 2016 and we're going to open our doors and say, I offer to my clients empath guidance. If you self-identify as an empath, and I also offer like 3 weeks where we just talk about your spiritual gifts. All we're going to do is help you to streamline, few are chosen, many are called. What's the saying? You and I and people like us, we picked up the phone and we were like, I don't have a choice here. This is, it chose me, whether I wanted it or not, or I'm kind of coming and being more aligned with, all right, this is what I want to do. Within these modalities, I have a choice. I can maybe, use my medicine with art, or maybe I could do a painting, or maybe I could do a film, or, maybe I could just do a direct hands-on and only see clients. So, what would you tell yourself, or tell me when I'm 15, what do you tell these new healers that really have a chance to bypass all the body programming, all the shaming, and all of that damage that we got and then had to release? What do we say to them? What do we, the people watching this, they're healers, they don't know what to do.
Oh, sure. And at any age, okay, first off, for parents with children, is know that you're their guardians only. You don't own them, and they are their own beings, and you need to let them be who they truly are, whether you like it or approve or not. It's not up to you to dictate how anyone lives, and that includes your children. And I did that with mine. I homeschooled my two sons from preschool to high school graduation. And spirituality, taught them, the meditation. We meditated. We had some fun. We tested their psychic abilities. Believe it or not, when you play with cards, a lot of us try to guess the next color, guess the number. Cards are great psychic tools for kids, and you can, if you're paying attention to them, they'll show you. So we have to treat others as the divine being that they are. So that's what I do. And that's what I try to do. Even I work out of my home, and it's the Goldylocks Temple of Healing. It's not that it's a physical temple, but our temple is our bodies. And they are divine temples that house our divine spirit, our soul. So it's to help everyone remember that you are a divine being. You are. And yes, we've all had pain. That's part of the challenges of this lifetime. And we can get through it, and that there is a support system, that no one ever truly is alone, even if you want to feel like you are. But that's when you're stuck in that dark pit of you, that negativity. It's so dark you can't see or feel anyone else around you, even though you are surrounded by loving angels and guides. It's trying to just extend that hand out and say, come closer to the light, so that you can see how much you are loved and that you are loved. And it's to help remember who you are. And I know a lot of us may feel like, yes, we've always asked, who am I? And then okay, well, everyone has an important mission here. And then how do you feel when you hear that you are important to humanity? Really? But I don't feel it, I'm not famous. I'm not in the spotlight. Who says you have to be? Who says you have to be in the spotlight to help humanity? Who says that, that someone working at a fast food restaurant isn't helping humanity every day by the smile on their face, by the gentle words they tell people, by the way they open the door for someone? And it's everyone. There's people like that all around. Homeless people, even if they're treated like crap, look at how they treat people. They're with love. And we need to remember that. We need to just only love ourselves. And that's the first thing, that is to remember who you are and who can reconnect with that love. So, because what happens is, we were taught in society that you create the world outside of you first, and that's where you attain your inner happiness. And that is totally backwards. It's totally wrong. We create and manifest by what we think and feel and put a blueprint on in our heart, within us. What we create within us, we see and manifest outside of us. And there's the old saying, we've heard this now, as above, so below, as within, so without. Are you without? Why are you without? Because you didn't start within. You didn't create the command of what you want inside. You're trying to do it backwards. And that's not how you manifest and how you create. So, and that's where all the remembering takes place, is when we go inside. And so that's really all of us, even though we're unique and individual, we are all doing that. We are doing our own spin, our own take on helping each other just to remember who we are by connecting to that divine cosmic heart, that oneness, and coming back together to help each other, not continue to feed separation and greed. And we've seen thousands and thousands and thousands of years of war has gotten us where? Nowhere. It's not working. I know that I am a past Atlantean. And I'll tell you, most of the people on this earth plane right at this time are either had past lives in Atlantis or Lemuria, or one of the 5 founding tribes on this earth plane. And when I say tribes, I'm talking about when we are light beings that were pushed or put into physical bodies, or earth suits, so to speak. Because I want you to think about Earth is like a huge garden, isn't it? A lot of toxic gases, so to speak. It's very dense, so we need something to live in. They're spacesuits. Well, these are our Earth suits, these physical bodies. Now, so we're pushed into these physical bodies. Now, a lot of us remember going way, way back a time that is not in our history books, before Egypt. And the Atlanteans, unfortunately, were the ones who went off track, went unruly, and started attacking and warring with their heightened abilities, with all 12 strands activated. They were, they have such a high technology and they behaved badly. And then, of course, what happens when they sink, which came the big flood, and there was many, many floods, by the way. And then we kind of, humanity started over, and 10 of our 12 strands of DNA were deactivated. Here you go. We're going to start over. Now you got 2 strands of DNA. Work your way back up. Well, guess what? It's taken us a long time, but we're back here. Earth has already left the 3rd dimension. She's in the 5th dimension. We have to stay with her. And we are, a lot of us are beyond 5th dimension, though, have always been in higher vibrations. So here we are. Why are we here? So that we don't repeat the same mistakes that past Atlanteans did by destroying one another, blowing each other up. I mean, on such terrible, terrible scales that it was just total destruction. And we're here to prevent that from happening again and to assist in the ascension process of going back to those golden days where we are fully stepping into our power. This is also a time where our DNA is being reactivated, all strands of our DNA. This is most healing work that I've been working with now, as I've noticed, is as I'm, working on a client, the DNA reactivation is happening, all 12 strands of DNA. So all of us, our abilities are clicking in now. Everything's falling into place.
All right, let's take a look at, I'm going to show the people your YouTube and, let's see, okay. For you watching this on Daily Motion or YouTube or at home somewhere, here's Tiffany's, that's a Google Plus, and that's one profile, right, we have right here, and you can check that out, okay? And then we go over to YouTube page as well, and you can see there she is, and with her photo, and it says Goldylocks Productions. Now, what's on the YouTube page, and is there two different... there's 2 different things between the healing and the Goldylocks. Isn't there like there's like a film and production?
Yeah, that's new. That's Goldylocks Productions is a subsidiary of Goldylocks Temple of Healing, and we're a year old now. September, yeah, is the year anniversary of that. So, about maybe 4.5 years ago, I was involved with a psychic network, and I had joined, of course, to help open up myself and to step back into and to heal the word. I didn't want to be labeled as a psychic, but again, I'm choosing titles that I can heal. Psychic medium, reverend. It's like, let's heal these. Let's heal it. And what it means. So I joined the psychic network at first just to offer, psychic, and I was also still the holistic professional as far as healings. So I wanted to be available for everyone that way through the network, and then with shows. And it was like, I only was involved with the network for like 6 months when at that time, the network's producer and web designer, she left. She stopped. She's just no more. So I stepped in and helped out with the production. My husband at the time was an IT engineer, so he took over the website. Then he taught me how to do the website. So I was doing that. And then last year, or actually the beginning in 2015, I started to feel these shifts. I started to feel it was time to step away from that psychic network. And it wasn't something that took place really quick. It was something that, okay, I will do that. I will listen. I learned a long time ago not to ignore anymore, not to ignore my guides, and just to follow, even if I don't understand or have all of the who, what, where, when, the answers, I know that they do, and that I'm just going to trust. It takes a great amount of trust. And so I heard very strong then last August, set up, create a website for Goldylocks Productions. And because in September, you're going to have your own production company. You're going to be allowing others like us to come and have radio shows that want to have radio or TV shows. And because I had that knowledge. And so that's where I was like, oh, well, I would have never thought that this is where I would have ended up either. So that's something else that was added on, so to speak. And so it's an opportunity for all of us. It's in the holistic field, mind, body, soul, paranormal, if they want to have their own 1 hour weekly radio show or TV show, we create a sacred space in order to do that. It's a tight knit group. There's no backstabbing because there's no competition. There's enough for everybody. Really, there's enough for everyone. And everyone it has something to share. They're powerful spiritual teachers. And so I provide that platform for their teaching. And it's really grown in the last year. It's just, I'm just amazed again, how spirit works and just how the universe works, and just, you never know where you're going to go and what else is added, what else they want you to do. But it all comes together as healing. So it's because you're creating that environment and that space. And how about now with technology, remote temples of healing, right? Each show has a message. Each person has a message. You're going into their temple to receive a healing, so to speak. Even if they're just psychic mediums giving messages, you should walk away feeling, even if you don't if you don't understand, you should walk away though feeling good and not feeling terrible, no doom and gloom type of thing.
Okay.
That's how I came across that.
Okay, okay? Let's see. Your site. Let me see. You got a Facebook page. So let me just. The Goldylocks is kind of like a portal for website, radio, TV, and like movie production. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
Okay, good. So with, the spiritual and new age understanding and wisdom and savvy that you have as well. So that's good to know. So now we go to, do you have a like kind of healing arts website, or is that just Facebook, or let me see, I
have 2 pages on Facebook.
Okay, what do I type in?
Goldylocks Temple of Healing. Is of course the healing, and then Goldylocks Productions.
Okay. So
those are the 2 pages.
We want to. Okay, I just have up here the Goldylocks Productions. So let's.
Type in Goldylocks Temple of Healing. You should find the healing one.
Temple of Healing and Knowledge. Okay. So let's just see.
Remember Goldylocks with a Y.
Okay. There's an About Me page.
Well, we are also friends on Facebook, so if you go to my profile page and you look to the left, it'll say Goldylocks Temple of Healing, and then it will say Goldylocks Productions as well.
Oh wait, I got your actual. Now we just got your website, so let's just show that. That is wow. Okay, I haven't seen this. Did
You
you
haven't seen my website?
did you update it or did you? I don't remember all this
Yeah, I just
beautiful.
recently updated. I
Okay,
updated it
okay,
last
okay,
week.
okay, okay. So I'm not abstracting here. So here is. Wow, it looks great. It
Thank
looks
you.
really good. Okay, so you can reach this by going to whitesagewoman.com.
Yeah.
Okay, that is beautiful. Wow. Okay, and there's social media profiles on Pinterest, LinkedIn, Twitter, and follow. See. Okay, there we go.
And
Okay.
Instagram.
Okay, don't forget the Instagram. I don't
I know,
know.
right?
I gotta track down your. I have one too. Okay, so here we go. So this is what this looks like, and so what do we talk about next? How do we wrap it up? What do you want to say in closing? We're coming up to a full hour. Is there anything else you want to have clarification about, or I
Well,
feel
this is very powerful times that we're in, and this is the time not sit on the fence anymore. You have to make choices. You have to. No one's going to come in and save us. We are here to save humanity. And I know that may scare some people, and that may seem like that's a heavy weight on your shoulders. But all of us that are here, we did agree to this. It's something that we wanted to do. We wanted to be a part of this. All right. And we're also stepping away from karma. Karma is in the very low vibrations, and in the upper vibrations and upper dimensions, there's dharma. There's no such thing as karma. So we can end or kind of like complete all the contracts very quickly now. Everything that we had said, okay, karmic relationships are coming to an end. We're getting to that space of peace and to the upper vibrations. And what's going to happen to the third dimension is it's going to implode on itself and just return back to the uncreated mass of the divine. And what does that look like? A lot of people think it's a lot of death and destruction, but no, with death and destruction comes rebirth. All right, you can't have rebirth without death and destruction. And the universe is constantly in a state of recreation all the time. There's change. And it's part of the oneness. Death and rebirth is part of the whole. And so let us know that as we shed our skin and as we shed away the old, that's giving birth to something new. And these are very exciting times. And all these changes can seem, really confusing or frustrating. So please just make sure that you stay connected with spiritual communities and to help one another. And where we're going to feel kind of real crazy with our energies and maybe with our thoughts and emotions because we're healing. What's happening now is everything that has been pushed deep down inside of you is coming out like a movie reel, all right? And so as it's coming out, here's the trick. Don't focus too much on it. So we pull something up that we thought we already healed, and we're looking at, oh, wow, that really was upsetting to me. Don't pause it that long. Yes, and I release it. I give forgiveness to that situation, person, place, whatever, and let it just keep coming out. If we stop it and pause it, we're not helping ourselves. We're creating a block from that flow. Let it keep all just coming out, pulling it out, pulling it out, pulling it out. And it's going to feel like you're pulling your skeletons out, but you have to. We have to. We don't need the dense energy holding us down anymore as we are lightening up. We really are becoming more physically light. Okay. And so this is why it's important to get to a state of love and forgiveness within ourselves and to be gentle with ourselves. and allow that healing process to keep going on, because healing is an ongoing process until I can't even say until we leave this earth plane, because even beyond, we're always reinventing and healing ourselves. So that's my final word, is just continue to connect with spiritual communities, and making sure that trust is huge. Trust that you're in the right place, the right time.
All right, divine and spiritual intelligence will materialize and manifest. All I have to do and all we have to do, and the basic message that I hear you say, being repeated through you, is allow, reveal, replenish, let go, let goddess. We're getting lighter.
Surrender and trust, because we feel like we have to know that next step. We have to have the plan. We have to know everything that's going to happen before it happens. No, you don't. Trust and take that step. Don't be scared to take the step, or what they call the leap of faith, right? And know that you're being divinely guided.
Okay. And so if, once again, we'll just wrap it up, final comment. If somebody wants to get a hold of you, what is it send you an email, go to your website?
They can contact me through my website. It's the really easiest way. And again, that's whitesagewoman.com. Just contact me or send me an email through my website.
Okay. It's been my honor and privilege to reconnect with you in this spiritual portal, the Temple of Love, Light, and Healing. And thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for your streamlined, eloquent thoughts about healing and being a reverend and a sage among the humans and among us. And is there anything else that you need to tell planet Earth and anybody watching right now?
Just the final thought of thank everyone. Thank you, Kirk. Thank everyone for sitting in sacred circle with all of us. Whether you watch it live, whether you watch it recorded, space has been set up for you, and we are in a soul circle. Feel the healing that's going around, and may the obstacles to your flight be few, and the blessings along your journey be many.
Shakti Namaste. All right. My name's Kirk, and it's been my pleasure to be your host here in this spiritual, metaphysical, mystical, magical circle. Remember, here comes the Kirk TV Cougar reminding you, you're powerful, you're important, and you're immortal. And we are signing off with Reverend Tiffany, White Sage Woman, and we just once again like to say thank you. And this is going to go out, so we're going to be able to just give like half the broadcast on Monday live stream, but later this evening it will be on Daily Motion to watch the entire broadcast. And Tiffany, feel free to lift it or download it, and put any clips on your site as, whatever you want to do on your Facebook or any social media. And thank you very much. And we will talk soon, and I'll send you a direct link to the interview. And I'd just like to thank you for, going through the process with me to connect all this up. And I wish you infinite amounts of love, light, and healing in every reality imaginable.
Oh, thank you. The same to you.
Okay, Tiffany, we're going to sign off now, and I hope you have a great rest of today, and we'll chat soon.
All right, dear. Many blessings. Thank you.
As well. Thank you, Tiffany. Shakti. Okay. And that's it. That's our big wrap up. There is no big finish because I don't know how to say the big finish. Remember, you're powerful, you're important, and you're immortal. And this is going straight to Daily Motion. So if you're just kind of watching some of this, a little bit of it, but it's going to go out live broadcast this Monday. And we're going to do an intro, and then we're going to show some of it. And I can put it on YouTube too because there's no music. So there's no copyright. Shakti Namaste. I hope you learned a lot. I hope you got a lot of healing from Tiffany's wisdom and spiritual power and spiritual journey. And once again, if you wish to contact her, let's just check out the links once again. You've got Goldylocks Productions, and that's a portal for any kind of spiritual production, design services, website services. You've also got her kind of healing thing going on YouTube. Don't forget the Instagram, and you can also book a session with the Reverend Tiffany. And I guess that's about it. She's got a great Facebook page. She is very easy to get a hold of. And here's her website. Oh, so this is my continuing series, Who Is? So if you want to be on the show, don't hesitate to give me a call at gmail.com, KirkTV at Gmail. You can call us here live any Monday night, 11:30 p.m. Eastern at 212. Hey, Kirk, give me some healing. 212-245-7273. There is no big finish. The big finish is I wish you infinite amounts of unconditional love. Oh, Shakti, Namaste, in every reality imaginable. And we will see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace out. Namaste. Infinite amounts of blessings. Shakti.